Good morning, YouTube. JT Serenity Farms prepping here with a mandatory vaccine in New York update. Alright, so as we know, President Trump committed almost $2 billion to Pfizer in an action called Warp Speed to produce a vaccine for the vid. Just a few days ago, Pfizer came out with their studies based on 43,000 people that said it was 90% effective. Okay, so if you're down with vaccines and scared to death of this pandemic, then this is all good news. I personally will not be taking a vaccine no matter who produces it or why. Personal choice based on my beliefs on vaccines and where everything is potentially headed. As we know, El Duce Herr Cuomo came out with a statement that there's good and bad news concerning the vaccine. The good news is it's out there and tests appear good. The bad news is there's still 2 months before potentially Pedo Joe becomes president. So the plan for President Trump to distribute the vaccine will be bad. I'm not sure how someone who is complicit in the murders of over 10,000 elderly people in New York State, not to mention all the other thousands of deaths based specifically on actions that this piece of shit has taken or not taken, can talk about anybody. But liberals don't have mirrors, okay? So, to further this, we all know the libtards and the deep state globalists want mandatory vaccinations. Okay? They don't want vaccinations for your health and welfare. It's all about control and everything we know about what vaccinations are going to lead to. So, this past Saturday, while we were all sleeping, the New York State Bar passes mandatory COVID-19 vaccination recommendations. Alright, does anyone actually think these are recommendations? Okay, I'm going to read to you. The resolution does contain conditions limiting its scope. These include that the state government should only consider making vaccinations mandatory if voluntary COVID-19 conditions fall short of producing needed levels of population immunity. Okay, that an assessment of the health threat to various communities be made so that perhaps the mandate can be targeted, and that a mandate only be considered after there is expert consensus about the vaccine's safety and efficacy. The New York State Bar Association on Saturday passed a resolution urging the state to consider it making mandatory. Okay, we all know that it's not a consideration. It's not a suggestion. Okay? This could be Cuomo's backdoor way of saying, see, it wasn't me, the state bar has decided. Okay, so I did a little research, and I have to do more, but based on the research that I have found, it is very likely that constitutionally he will be allowed to mandate a vaccine for every resident of New York State. As we know already, I believe unconstitutionally, it's mandated that children who are going to school must be vaccinated. Okay, the Supreme Court did grant that. There's also some wording that I'm paraphrasing that due to the event of a national emergency type situation, a vaccine could be mandated for the health, safety, and welfare of the entire population. Okay, so obviously there will be many lawsuits brought to the Supreme Court when, not if, when El Duce puts down his mandate. Now, I've talked about this before, and there is in the legislature A99 making them mandatory and the list of punishments for refusing to take the vaccination. Alright, so this is the back door way, except they're coming through the front door, of making vaccinations mandatory throughout the United States. And why do I say that? Okay, so if you get your libtard socialist despots in your New York, Washington State, California, Oregon, Rhode Island, Connecticut, the cesspools, if you have all those governors mandate vaccines in their states, you might be thinking, well, I don't live there, I'm fine. Okay, here's where they get every state to get on board somehow, some way. Excuse me. Alright, New York State, where I live. I am a New York State employee, retired. My monthly paycheck and my health insurance are from New York State. Now, the New York State taxpayers do not pay either one of those for me. I did what I needed to do during the course of my career to have enough sick time converted to cash, and our retirement contributions I pay my own way. But my checks come from New York State. So, Herr Cuomo will dictate if you refuse to get the vaccination as mandated by his holy self, you will not be allowed to enter businesses who he has coerced into not allowing anyone inside their restaurant, their hospital, their swimming pool, their gymnasium. Any business you can think of will be extorted and coerced and penalized for not mandating and allowing people inside their facilities, restaurants, businesses without a vaccine. He can threaten me, withhold my paycheck, withhold my health insurance unless I get a vaccination. Now, to force other states, he can put a travel ban, which he already has with 34 other states. You cannot enter New York State without showing your immunization card. So, I will basically become a prisoner on my own compound here by refusing to get a vaccination. I will no longer be getting a paycheck or have health insurance because New York State signs mine. So what is going to happen? Will this spread throughout the United States? Will Republican governors cave because interstate commerce, allowing people from other states into your state? You see where this all could go, where they could easily try and coerce every state to mandate a vaccination, and then what are the penalties for refusing? This is where the lawsuits will start. Based on past precedent, I'm not optimistic that the Supreme Court will do the right thing. The Bar Association has even stated, and so has Cuomo, that they will do away with exemptions based on health concerns, personal reasons, and religious exemptions. Basically taking away every legitimate reason currently on the books why I don't want to get a vaccination. Besides the most obvious reason, I don't want to get it. You don't need to know why I don't want to get it. It's my body, my choice. You know? How come that doesn't work for anything? So, be prepared. They're already trying to make it look like the president had nothing to do with this vaccination. And behind the scenes, I'm told that members of Pedo Joe's cabal have gone to Pfizer and said, listen, the president's plan looks really good for all this. We're not going to change a thing. And then publicly they're going out and slamming every aspect of it, even trying to lead everyone to believe that the president did not give any money to Pfizer. Pfizer had a spokesman come out 2 days ago and deny they were given any money by the administration to develop this vaccination, and then they had to recant it when the statement came out that it was $1.95 billion given by the Trump administration to Pfizer. So once again, stop listening to the fake news, OAN, Newsmax, or your own reliable conservative source. Like, share, subscribe, comment, notification bell. I'll keep you posted on this vaccination crap as I learn more, but you need to start thinking about the ramifications for when this piece of shit comes down with his mandatory rule. They already have a list of who's going to get it and in what order it's going to be given out, but that's only to get it going. You know darn well, just like I do, that he will have total control if allowed to mandate this, and that's what he wants. So for now, JT, signing off.